Hi and welcome to the Urban Tech VC, a podcast for urban leaders shaping the cities of tomorrow. If you love our show, do drop us a review, share it with your friends and follow 2BX on LinkedIn or Instagram. Today we're happy to welcome you to Fabio, Michelin star chef, entrepreneur, founder and CXO of CIRCUS. If you're an urban tech founder about to raise a round, do reach out to us. We'd love to connect and see if we should play together.
Fabio, welcome to the show. It's great having you here.
Thank you for having me. My last podcast was a while ago, but I'm curious.
Oh, so are we. So before we start, I want us to take some time to hear a bit about you. So who is Fabio and what made you the person you are today?
I guess my daughter, but this is another topic. My name is Fabio Haebel. I'm active in the hospitality industry since more than 20 years now. I'm a trained chef. I'm a hospitality manager. I'm self-employed since 12 years now and a passionate host. The last point is also the exact description of my job. I'm a host, and when I'm asked what I do for a living, that's me. I'm a host.
For a lot of people, hosting guests or hosting people is a lot of stress, and it has, good but also negative associations. So what made you choose being a host as your profession, as your main thing that you want to do?
In hospitality industry, it's the most fun part, to be honest. To welcome people, to know what they will gonna order, what they will want to drink, because we are well connected to other restaurants and maybe they call us, or the concierge from a hotel, they call me, do you have a table for two? Mark is coming. He enjoys gin tonic the most, blah, blah. And taking care of people and taking care of people's needs is what makes the most fun part in hospitality industry for me.
So you give them a smile, right? This is what,
yes.
What it's about, right? A smile and a good feeling, right?
That's why I'm running, as you know, food startup with my friend Nicholas. And as he came up with my title, CXO, for experience officer, that's exactly what I am. I'm creating experiences, and that's what I do every day and what I really love most.
The other people only can hear your voice, but we could experience it firsthand, and you can really feel like this is your passion to host people and to deeply connect with people. This is really impressive. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, it is a mistake to tell, but we Google every guest who's in our restaurant, and that's for a reason. Not just to control them, who is this person in the first place. It's more about who is this kind of person, who's this human gonna come to me. And on the second point of view, it's important. We have a lot of agency people coming to my restaurant, and when I know there's a CEO of a big ad company and another CEO of another big ad company, I will take care that they sit as far as we can in the restaurant and not too close together. Maybe there are business dinners. And, this is taking care as well, just to give them a good time. Mm-hmm. When you go to a restaurant and buy a steak or mussels or a drink in the bar, you buy time in a restaurant from a restaurant owner who is having a public space, who giving you a seat, and you buy this seat for the moment. And I want to have you the best seat and the best time you can have in my restaurant.
I really like your approach to it, right? And maybe it's a little bit advertising here at this part from me personally. So whoever of our listeners is in Hamburg, you have to try either the Haebel or the XO. I think we're going to link them in the show notes everywhere. If you want to experience what Fabio just describes, and I can totally recommend that, then you might just visit one of his amazing venues, amazing restaurants. But Fabio, you mentioned something, and that leads us to our first topic, right? You told us you want to talk about public spaces, right? Especially in urban areas. To me, it's not the obvious topic from your perspective, but now, as you mentioned it already, I would really like to get an understanding. What is a public space from your perspective? What defines a public space? And why did you want to talk about public spaces with us?
Gastronomy is facing major problems all over the world. Point taken. Urban life is desired, but it's only really popular during the restaurant opening hours. People love to go to restaurants, but when they want to have a sleep like in closing times, especially on Sundays, public holidays, and at the beginning of the week, people are not the biggest friends of restaurants. So it's always a decision, when is a restaurant open? Maybe too long for someone, maybe too short for someone else. So we have different characters, of course, and lucky us, in our human beings. But when it comes to closing times, end of the week, like Sunday, public holidays, Mondays is a classic gastronomy closing day. Whole streets seems to be empty. So this is a major issue on 2 points. First is the public spaces, like the restaurants, are not open. It looks closed, like the street is dead. Second is, we could use these rooms for other concepts, like a wine store pop-up or a clothing company making a pop-up. We could use rooms better than we do at the moment. And public spaces belong to everyone, not just to gastronomy. I totally get it. But having a large terrace in the basement of your living room or in your living house is good when you visit it for yourself. But most people don't like it because it's loud, the people smoke, many guests come and go, and you don't have a really good control about what is happening after they paid, the guests, and then they're leaving. And this is a major issue we are facing all over the world. And when I talk to my colleagues and friends, and it doesn't matter if it's about Sydney, Melbourne, New York, Hamburg, or London, everyone is facing the same issues. Everyone loves the open terrace and the good vibe, but there's coming a time, like 11 p.m., the first people living around getting annoyed, then they call the police. And yeah, it doesn't give you a good gut feeling in the industry. That's why we should focus on using public spaces on a different point of view. For example, going on roofs or going to other venues. But yeah, we're coming to this point again.
This is something very interesting that you're touching, right? This is a kind of behavior that we can always see in dense areas, right? Where you have automatically a lot of touch points, right? So people meet. If it's dense, they are forced to meet. And they enjoy it. They enjoy terraces and they enjoy other nice things that are offered, as long as they are not negatively affected by that, right? This is kind of like a conundrum to me all the time. I want to have it, but not in front of my door, right? So this is something you would agree upon, right? I find this quite confusing sometimes, but I think it's also a little bit in our nature. Do you see other things that causes conflict in public spaces, or are there things where you see similarities when it comes to this problem? Like people want to experience it, but not want to have it in front of their home door?
Yeah, as I already mentioned, gastronomy is partially popular. And those who take advantage of the gastronomic offer are fans and travel not only to the next district, but sometimes even around the world. If you believe the criterion, for example, 3 Michelin stars of the Guide Michelin, the restaurant is worth a trip. That's the meaning of the stars. 1 star means the restaurant is worth a stop. 2 stars means the restaurant is worth a detour. And 3 stars means it's worth the trip. On the other side of the coin is the local resident who may completely different needs than the restaurant on the ground floor, as I said, like the terrace with the 100 seats. For me personally, gastronomy is, of course, part of the public space. And I say this not as a restaurateur, I say it as a guest and a big fan of a diverse range of gastronomic offerings. Without going into detail about how important gastronomy is as from an economic force and the employment more than 2.5 million people working in this industry, I guess many industries having the same issues. Like that's the reason why big companies, we have a big brewery in Hamburg, the Astra Brewery and Holsten Brewery. They moved now to the outskirt of Hamburg, out of Altona, from really mid-city center. And it's a huge project. And even this area from the brewery, it sold last week for 155 million. So there's a lot of things coming up, the economic part. And of course, there's pressure from the public saying, do we need a brewery in the mid of Hamburg, in the mid of Altona? No, of course we don't need it. It's from back in the days where like the connection was good to the Autobahn, but this cannot be the only reason. And if we talk about change and change management in the city management. We should start with moving big companies like industry companies to the outskirt. But this brings us to the next point, public transportation, good bike lanes, a good change management in mobility. So everything is connected to each other.
I mean, the conflicts that you're describing are mostly between like the problem of having experiences like restaurants and people living there, and it's happening at the same space. So wouldn't it be an idea to detach that, right? To say, okay, there's no restaurants where the majority of people lives in housing, but let's think it differently. Let's say, think urban food courts, right? So, or what we would call in German Flaniermeile, right? This is just like we have very high density of things that excites you, like restaurants. Would that be concepts that you would find interesting, or do you think a restaurant also needs to be connected to the people who are living there?
No, it must not be connected. Definitely not. I'm a pragmatist and I'm a realist, and I would like to create an offer everyone can live with. The gastronomy industry and the people who wants to come to the restaurant and the people are living in Hamburg. In the city center of Hamburg, for example, no one is living. No one. When the shops are closing, the city center is dead. There are not many cities where they have it like this much, like in Hamburg. It's dead. There's nothing. And we could bring gastronomy to the city center. So we connect the people living in the city center with gastronomy, and after that they go home to their living districts. I mean, we have living districts in Hamburg, but restaurants do work in these areas, but like not the special interest gastronomy we are looking for. Special interest gastronomy, like the 2 Michelin star restaurant 100, 200 in Hamburg, they moved 6 years ago to the Elbbrücken, like the big bridge comes to, when you come with your car to Hamburg, you probably cross the bridge, and it's in the industrial corner of a not cool district called Rothenburgsort. Every city has the district. This is the next one who's coming up. This district is coming up. Yeah, they told me since 15 years, and maybe it will come in 15. And they moved directly to this industrial corner, to the third floor of an industrial company. And this is special interest. And this restaurant is running like hell. Not just because of 2 stars. It was running without any stars. If the offer is good and the offer is special and unique, the people will come. So you don't need this. When I was growing up in the industry, hospitality-wise, everyone was told me, when you're getting self-employed, running your own restaurant, it's just about where is your restaurant? Where is it located? It's just about the location. And 15 years later or 20 years later, I can tell you it's not. When your offer is right, when your offer is unique, the people will come. And they do a journey, they do a trip, they do a detour, and it's not just the stop for 1 Michelin star. So work on your offer, work on your uniqueness, and the people will come to your restaurant 100%. We have one restaurant in the outskirt. This is attached to a farm. They're raising animals. They feeding. They growing a lot of vegetables. They have their own bakery. And this attached restaurant to this farm, it's running like hell. I don't have other words. It's absolutely insane. So if you have a good offer, people will come, I'm sure.
What you're saying, I mean, is this kind of like, let's say, top-notch experience gastronomy, right? Which is mainly an offer for, let's say, let's be real, right? Not the majority of people can afford such restaurants, right? So it's
the restaurant in the outskirt with the farm. This is a bistro, not more.
Oh,
so this is a super simple one. You get a good pizza, you get a good sausage, a good steak, a nice salad. So this is nothing expensive. It's super affordable. I really love to go there with my daughter, a short stroll to the animals, to the gardens, to have a look on this beautiful farm, and then having a snack or a dinner. There's a cafe, there's a bistro, there's a deli, there's everything attached. And what they do is, 1 time a month, they offer a menu-only dinner, and then other people are coming. So he offered it to a wide range of people, and so you get a piece of the majority. Yeah, combining this is, of course, not really my job, but you need to combine the needs, the hospitality industry, and public transportation and the change management of transport. What I really find super interesting is what Anne Hidalgo said. She's the mayor of Paris, to make Paris to a 15-minute city. Mm-hmm. I know it's not uncontroversial. It's certainly ambitious as well. But to give this a chance, that you are in Paris and you can go to every point in this city within 15 minutes. This is a genius idea of bringing everything together. A gastronomy could be in the outskirt of a city, and you will go there in between 15 minutes by bike, by public transportation, or by whatever. Just don't use your car. So even not in Paris. But actually, this is an idea. It's words of honor, and I would love to follow this more. And I can't wait to get more details to this idea. And yeah, it's a good future thinking, but we shouldn't wait too long because it's a need. We need to bring people fast to the outskirt of the cities to make it like nice for them to go there. We all would love to go on a Sunday for a piece of cake and a coffee at the seaside or at the lake. But if you need like 45 to 1 hour just to go there, it needs too much time. And time is expensive, even in our private time.
And now you were talking like, hey, wouldn't that be nice to go there, like to the outskirt of the city on a Sunday, have a great piece of cake to enjoy the sun, etc. But we are focusing a lot on urban areas, and we would love urban areas to develop to that place where you want to be the whole time, even on Sundays. And right now, we probably would agree that this is not always the best place to be. But we would love to think about what would we need to change to really want to stay here.
Yeah, we need to make a pivot in our focus on, is there any public space what's not used right now? I mean, like the roof of a park garage is one example. I'm working at the moment on a project to bring a restaurant or a whole experience to a really, really big rooftop from a parking garage. And it's a lot of fun to combine everything together. We combine an art gallery. We combine mini golf, public gastronomy, like just go up to the roof and just grab a drink, have a seat, look to the Elbphilharmonie, look to the bypassing railway. But you also can have a stroll through our gardens. And we have a rooftop garden. There's a seed bank where you can like borrow or buying tomato seeds to grow your own. It's bringing public together. And of course, we will have a small fine dining area, maybe in a glass house. You need to make things nice and interesting for the people. And the next generation who's coming up, and maybe they can afford a fine dining Haebel experience right now, but they will. Maybe not everyone from them, but maybe they have a special day like finishing at the university and they want a special moment, special evening. They will come. It's the next generation. And I guess it was Verena Pauster. She said that the Generation Z will be in charge for 40% of the net income in 12 years. In Germany. So we need to focus on them and we need to listen to them. And she did a really nice thing I'm following since days, and I can't wait to read more. She was looking for a mentoring from one of the Generation Z guys, like the reverse mentoring. I love that idea to, we heard long enough on old voices. I guess it's time to hear the voice in the future. Perfect idea. I love that.
I think it was Lea Sophie Kramer.
Sorry.
They're super close. So now you're talking about that exciting project, and really sounds like I want to have that in Berlin too. Could you do that in Berlin too? That would be awesome.
Of course. You bring the rooftop and I bring the industry.
Okay, Mark, this is a challenge for us. Do we accept or don't we?
Yeah, we'll figure something out here. Sure thing.
So combining art and mini golf and gastronomy and whatever. So to make this work, what is essential? I guess there are a lot of different stakeholders involved. So what is key from your experience?
True. Yeah, the project includes a lot. As you said, gastronomy, arts, mini golf, and of course, it's sustainability. And before people roll their eyes now at the buzzword that can be found between imprint and disclaimer on every website from every chemical industry, this is the biggest part, the approach on sustainability. It means socially, ecologically, and economically. And you need patience to do this. It's not something you can do like I built now a sustainable rooftop. What means that? I mean, I need like for 20 years to work on every section of sustainability. But yeah, you need a lot of people working with you. And I just don't talk about chefs and waiters. I talk about you need gardeners and you need architects. You need everyone in this industry, and you need public people. Even the mayor of Hamburg must be part of this. Like, he's like having our back and supporting us. And all the senators need to support us. We need to have a good entrance to the politics. Without the politics, a project like this is not possible because there are many interests coming up. When you're reaching out to public park garage and the rooftop, many people will show up and show their interest. Politicians, mostly politicians, because politics are made out of meanings. And, there are many parties, and every party is having its own meaning and bring his own influence. And when you start working on a project like this, and the first question what's coming up is, when is the next election? You get a clue what's coming up when there's a change in leading the city. So this is super interesting and, to be honest, a little bit annoying too. But it's a really nice learning and cool as well. It's like influence from every side. It's cool. It's a learning. It's annoying. It's every part is into.
It's an experience, Fabio.
It is an experience, and experiences could be good and bad. So I totally get it. But that's it, basically.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds super like a really tough and beautiful project. And I'm wondering, like, where to start best. Like, with the first ideal step to talk to the politicians and to say, hey, this is what I see here. Do I have your back? Or is it more about, I need that project, that setup of architects, of gardeners, of whatever, everyone, of artists, and then show that whole concept and say, okay, pitch it and say, hey, this is awesome for our city. We need that.
I guess there's no blueprint for a project like this. It came up with a friend of mine, Matthias. He was a part of two big buildings in Hamburg. One was, we have the bunker. It's directly in St. Pauli. And he gave the major idea behind, like, let's put something on top of the bunker to build not just a roof, like more a pyramid. They build it on this bunker. And that's totally insane. And to open it for the public, like to make something old to something new, like refurbish it, reduce, reuse, recycle is, I guess, one of the most important claims in every part all over the world. We should reduce, we should reuse, and we should recycle. And he came to me and said, Fabio, we built a new company and we are trying to buy big buildings and reduce, reuse, recycle them, make something new out of it. And the project with the park garage, they will build a lot of new flats in this park garage. The current owner was planning to tear it down, to build it new, blah, blah, blah. And what they do is just to reuse it and recycle it. And even if they cut a part of it away for like having more light in the flats, like cutting in the middle, they will reuse all these broken down walls and stones. And we met on the park garage, and I said to him, what about doing something special on this roof? And he was like, thought you're never asking, let's do this. And then like two crazy guys and two crazy ideas came to each other, and then we started to being super fast. Super fast is, when politics are slow, they are by nature. They cannot be fast because so many people and the public needs to decide things, and you cannot do just whatever you want as a politician. And that's a good thing, by the way. So when the other side is slow, you need to be like double it up and be fast as you can. So you need to be a step ahead of them. And you need to have the answers for every question they will have in the first place at your next meeting. So otherwise, it will be super slow. And of course, an idea is mostly just an idea. You need a lot of money with it. So a public funding from a sustainable point of view is super important. So we don't work with the oil industry, but we work with industry XYZ. And to bring something special to topic and to build a unique case like this will be connected to all over the world. I mean, there are park garage roof gardens for now, and they are fantastic and they are amazing. And I visited most of them. But I guess we can, because the building is fucking huge, we have 5,000 square meters, we can do a lot. And to combine the experience with the hospitality together, this is a major thing coming up. And I guess this could be a blueprint for other urban cities and metropolis.
I really love that it's the second time in this podcast that we're hearing about a concept and talking about a concept where parking space is repurposed, right? So it is something that I really like, because personally I consider parking space the biggest waste of space, of one of the scarcest things that we have, right? Of the most precious things that there is. So I really like what you're telling us here. But let's jump to our final topic. We've been talking about accessibility, right, of what you're creating. We've been talking about the public and the acceptance. And now you're doing something where it is a lot about making something very unique, which is like great food, accessible to the majority of the people. So can you tell us a little bit about Circus and the Ghost Kitchen concept behind it, and what brought you to the point of founding this great company? Please explain a little bit about your approach and what you have in mind with Circus.
I mean, it was, of course, mid-pandemic time. It was lockdown. I guess I'm saying something illegal now, but don't care. I was at home of a good friend of mine, Tim Melzer. He's running several restaurants in Hamburg and Germany as well. And we talked about one of our restaurants. How can we use it during the lockdown, during we are not allowed to do our job? And we came to the point of ghost kitchens, and lockdown was 9 and we met at 7 for 2 hours. So we just stick to his living room till the next morning and talked about ghost kitchens, and to having an idea about like bringing classic restaurant food to the people at home without using our restaurants while they are open classic. For example, I built a restaurant with 40 seats. So I built a kitchen to serving food for 40 seats. When I start doing food delivery service, by the side to the 40 seats, the kitchen cannot handle it. The kitchen is built for 40 seats. And when they're coming like 60 orders, Mark and Katharina will wait for their salads because I need to serve a lot of more other people. So this is the first reason to go to the ghost kitchen. And the second thing is what's super annoying. You're waiting on your food and you get it visualized like someone with a big backpack walking beside you, maybe kicking off your gin tonic from the table to get the delivery food. This is annoying. Gastronomy is an experience and not about looking delivery riders, how their work is. So this is definitely annoying. And so we decided to go to ghost kitchens. Ghost kitchens are dark kitchens. They are not visible in the first place. So we are in back areas from buildings, in venues no one would like to have running a restaurant because it's dark, it's in the back, it's secret from one side. And then we decided, okay, let's bring our food in, because delivery was allowed during the lockdown, so we could work. And that's where we decided to do this. And that was the moment I called Nicholas to help us, because you need good people. Without good people, you cannot run a business. Mm-hmm. No chance at all.
And you definitely have an awesome team at Circus.
100%.
So what makes Circus that unique compared to other ghost kitchens? Not only the people, I guess.
Circus is special in their completely offer. We offer not just junk meat and like fast food. We try to fuel your busy every day. So if you like to have a pasta or spätzle with cheese or a good salad, we even cover up your barbecue. We have steaks, we have sausages, we have potatoes to grill for yourself. So it's a combination about grocery and classic food delivery. And to do this from a sustainability point of view, like being affordable, being socially nice to your workers, taking care of them, buying good products, really, really good products, taking care of the quality, to resync delivery food and bring it to another level without raising the prices to the max. This makes Circus unique. And we are highly efficient in what we do. Our kitchens are highly efficient. And that's the way to keep the prices low.
I think it's also necessary the more complex the environments are. One thing in addition, can you give us an insight? You said the operations of the kitchen is key, right? So can you give us a little bit insight on, without telling too much, obviously, right? But on how you designed the kitchen and what makes it different and why is it necessary to be successful as a ghost kitchen model to really own the kitchen, because there are different models out there, right? Utilizing other kitchens and stuff like that. But you decided to go, let's say, the hard way, the longer way, somewhat, but we think it makes you exceptional, right? So maybe you can give us a little bit of insight on the real kitchen in Circus.
As I said, the kitchen is highly efficient. That means we working with speed ovens, and they don't need a classic ventilation. You know, when you're running a classic restaurant kitchen, you need to have a lot of specials building in something to separate the fat from the water before it goes to the groundwater. I guess there's no English word for Fettabscheider. Maybe there is, but I really don't know. You need ventilation coming in and taking out the air and the smell, filtering it, and everything we need for a classic restaurant kitchen setup, we don't need with our highly efficient speed oven cuisine.
Can I imagine it as a microwave? So you produce microwave food? Is it that? No. That is not what you do, right? Yeah.
No. The speed oven combines everything but microwave. So it combines a classic oven. It combines air fry technique. It combines everything, grills. And this oven was built in the first place for a big fried chicken chain in the States. And then I guess they found out that they built something special for not just fried chicken. So we buy the speed ovens in the States and they do a fantastic job. And of course, the chefs working with the machines as well. So your cooking time with those speed ovens are on 30% to a classic oven time, because it's a lot of heat. It's with an air fry technique, and in small cabins. You don't have just like a big, like a Rational or a big industry oven where you like can put a lot of tins and cans inside. It's just like it's separated in 4 areas. And as I said, we don't need these fans and we don't need fresh air, especially for the ovens. Everything is combined in those machines. And that makes our kitchens smart on the warm side. And then we have the cold side, like the fridges, and they are all set up so incredible smart. Of course, this is my co-founder, Nicholas. He co-founded Flink. He knows how to run a warehouse. He knows how to organize those fridges, and he did a fantastic job. And as I said, you need professionals working with you. And if you have the courage to grow, this is even better.
Yeah, I mean, we've been standing in your kitchen. We've seen how you prepare the meals, how you prepare those amazingly fresh, optimized meals, like exactly for the processes you got. And I mean, it is a blast. We've been very impressed. And I mean, we have to make the disclaimer here that obviously we're big fans of Circus, but not only big fans, we're also invested in the pre-seed round. So we just have to be very clear about that.
Yeah, but still applying like for an internship. in the kitchen. Mark and I want to like really stand there and do it ourselves because we were so...
Yeah, but I never got an answer yet.
Yeah, this is why I just wanted to remind him, like in public, kind of.
Maybe we should also make a reverse mentoring. I get a mentoring at 2BX and working with you guys, and you're coming to the kitchen.
Yeah, that's a deal.
Love that.
That's a deal.
I love that.
That's a deal.
because unfortunately, we're almost at the end of today's conversation with you. Mark and I, we love to end the episodes with a quick fire round. So now it's all about speed and gut feeling. You have about 60 seconds for 10 questions. So The important question is, are you ready?
Yes.
Yes. Great. Startup or corporate?
Startup.
Environmental or social impact?
Both.
Okay. Bike or public transport?
Bike.
Build new or modernize?
Modernized.
Eat in or eat out?
That's tough. Both. Sorry.
You're cheating here. Private or public?
Private.
Passion or skills?
Passion.
Urban or rural area?
Urban.
Chef or entrepreneur?
Entrepreneur.
App or pen and paper?
App.
Great. Thank you so much for joining us, Fabio. We had a lot of fun with you.
More than welcome. Thank you very much for the invitation.
We still, I do really feel inspired by you. So we are looking forward to keeping in touch with you and standing in the kitchen just as another reminder at the end.
So I'm going to invest in some companies and you invest some time in cooking dishes for Circus.
So that's a deal. All the startup founders out there, whoever wants to have Fabio with an angel ticket on board, reach out to us. Right? we'll facilitate.
That's nice. That's nice. What a coincidence.
Great. Thank you so much. CXO, it's my favorite title from now on, like next to the CDO of Amsterdam. Like it's the same level, I guess. But I think everyone should have a chief experience officer.
And definitely just a good team by the side. And I'm so incredibly proud of what we achieved so far. And it's not just like doing these experience. It's about having the best senior management team you can imagine and the best co-founders you can imagine, because, you can grow with them and it takes away fears and worries. It pushes and motivates. And it literally makes mountains move, and I'm serious about that. So work with the most professional people you can find.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of the Urban Tech VC, a podcast for urban leaders shaping the cities of tomorrow. If you love our show, do drop us a review, share it with your friends, and follow 2BX on LinkedIn or Instagram. And if you are about to raise a round, drop us a note at LinkedIn or via email at idea@2bx.vc. Let's have a talk and see where we can help.